Hey guys! Today we're going to be learning Beauty and the Beast, performed by John Legend. So the song starts in E major. That's the E major scale. We start with this phrase. To play that, you start in your left hand like this. On the E and the B, just rock. One and then for the two and, you come in with your right hand. Two and, right? One and two and. That's F sharp and G sharp. And two and three and four and. So right there, with the right hand, we finish it off with a B to a D sharp to an E. Okay, so left hand, E, B, right hand comes in, F sharp, G sharp, B, D sharp, E. All together, let's play it one more time. Just play that phrase a few times, and then right after that, you play the A, because we're moving to an A chord. Right there. In your left hand, you're playing kind of an arpeggio. You start with the E. Okay, so we'll start with the right hand because it's a little bit simpler. Using that kind of beat, and you throw it in with this arpeggio in the left hand. Okay, and it sounds like this. And that's E, A, E again. So, putting together what we know. Right, so note that you're hitting that A twice with the thumb. Boom. That's going to be an octave in your right hand, starting on the G sharp. Sounds like this. Move up to the A, F sharp, G sharp again. It ends on that E. Okay, so that comes in right after our A chord. One and two and three and four and one. Right? Now the only thing you need to do in your left hand, it's actually kind of tricky, so when you hit the F sharp in your left hand, you're coming in with a B chord. So you leave out the third note. So it's just a B, an F sharp, and then a B again. And it sounds like this altogether, that part. We start over. Okay, I'm going to play that super slow for you, so try to follow along. Okay, so you play that twice, and then you move into the verse. And the verse starts the same way, just slightly different. You have that E to B in your left hand, but instead of going like we did in the intro, instead it sounds like this. Right? So you start on a G sharp in your right hand, and that comes down with the E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Practice that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then once you get that down, you're going to throw in part of an E chord in your right hand. So that's a B, and then an E, that pinky, 2 and 3 and 4 and, so it's kind of an accent at the end of the bar. Sounds cool though. 2 and 3 and 4 and then once again we're moving to the A with an E in the bass like we've been playing. Right? 1 and 2 and then I hit the A octave. So in the right hand, first you play the low A and then an A octave. In the intro, we did it a little differently. We played it like this. Well, the only difference here is that second time you hit the A, it's now the octave. Okay, so from the beginning of the verse, it sounds like this. Okay, and then you play F sharp, B, just like that, broken up. Octave, F sharp, B, and I'll count it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So and 4 and. Then we repeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're still going to the A with an E in the bass, but this time instead of just playing the A note, we're playing an A chord, second inversion. So that's E on the bottom, A, and then on top you have the C sharp. So 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. You don't arpeggiate in your left hand like we have been. You just play that low E. And then you come in with that lick again. Except it's a little bit different. Instead of playing an octave, you're playing those same notes up top, but then with your thumb you throw in. So that's B to C sharp to A to B to G sharp. And then together it sounds like this. And I recommend just using your thumb right there and your pinky. It works pretty well. Whoa, that's wrong. Okay, so we have the entire verse, which sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so you end G sharp and E. 1 and 2 and. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. Moving to the next chord, coming in with a G sharp minor, but you're leaving out the B. So G sharp, D sharp, G sharp. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, putting together that last part sounds like this. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and E. So you hit the E on 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we move to an A chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So in your left hand you have an A and an E, and in your right hand you have an A, a C sharp, and an E. 1 and 2 and. On the 2 and, you're playing a B with your first finger, and that makes it an A suspended second. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we move up to a B suspended fourth. So in your right hand, that's a B and an E. And then in your left hand, that's a B and then an F sharp. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. On the 4 and, you play the D sharp octave. 4 and. That transitions to the next key, which happens to be D sharp major, right? So that's. Alright, so get this rhythm down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Beautiful. So, you're playing a D flat octave in your left hand. Okay? And you're going to be rocking like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Great. And then we throw in that rhythm we just learned. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Practice that. Okay, so you do exactly that for the first bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then keeping that D flat octave in your left hand in the bass, you move to a G flat. Okay? 1 and 2. Okay? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then you play this lick. Okay? D flat, C, A flat, E flat, F. Then you do that again. Alright? But this time, instead of going to the G flat, we go up to an A flat minor 7. You can just play an A flat note in your left hand. Alright, so that's made up of G flat, A flat, B, and E flat. One and 2 and. You just hold it for the 2 beats. For 3 and 4 and, you go 3 and 4 and. So that's moving up a semitone basically to a B flat minor 7, right? A flat minor 7 to the B flat minor 7. So that's just a B flat in your left hand. And you have A flat, B flat, D flat, and an F, 3 and 4 and on the 4 and, I like to use my pinky. If you can't reach this, that's fine. 3 and 4 and to hit that high A flat. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we go back to the F sharp. Not F sharp, now we go back to the G flat. 1 and 2 and. Now we just play first and fifth in the left hand. There's a G flat and a D flat. And then we've got our G flat chord in our right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on the 4 and, all you need to do is move your thumb down to the F and your pinky down to the F in your left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So this is moving down to an E flat minor 7. That's made up of an E flat, a D flat in your left hand, and then moving into the right hand, that E flat again, B flat, D flat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 2 and then on the 3 and 4 and, you move up to an A flat suspended fourth. So that's A flat in the left hand with an E flat. In your right hand, you have an A flat, D flat, and E flat. Alright, so that entire section sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and finally we go back to that D flat. 1 and 2 and 3 and... Okay? But this time you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and what I'm playing is F, G flat, E flat, F, D flat. Can't do that? Just play single notes. So, and 2 and 3 and 4 and then end back on that D flat. 3 and 4 and if it's too hard, you can just end on a D flat octave. That's fine. I like to end on the chord. Perfect. So, I think we should go over this whole section. It sounds like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Sounds pretty cool. You can definitely woo your friend, your lover, your dog, your cat, whoever, your reptile. I don't know what you like. And then we move into the ever just the same. So that's moving to an F minor. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so in your left hand, you've got your F octave, and then add in the C. You're going to arpeggiate it like this. Just F, C, F. And then keep holding those notes. Let them ring out. Right hand, you're playing an F second inversion. F minor second inversion. So that's C, F, A flat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on 4 and, you play that D flat octave. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay, we're at the 1. On the 1 you're playing the C, and we're moving to a G flat in our left hand. So that's G flat, D flat, G flat, and arpeggiated just the same way. G flat, D flat, G flat. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the 4 and you're just playing a G flat in your right hand. So that's B flat, D flat, and G flat again. So all together it sounds like 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. One more time. 1 and 2. Stop. And then the next section sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay? And to do that, you have a D flat chord in your right hand, D flat octave in your left hand, 1 and 2 and, just rock, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... All you're doing is sliding your thumb down to the C, and your octave rocks down to the C octave. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you move your right hand all the way down to the B flat minor. 1 and 2 and again you're rocking on that B flat. And just quickly to go over that left hand so you can really get that rocking pattern. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 leading up to that, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So you hit that low B flat, but now B flat minor, but now you move up an octave. Okay, so you have B flat and D flat, 1 and 2 and. So that is D flat, E flat, F, D flat. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so let's see how that sounds. And 2 and 3 and 4 and. We move up a half step. Move up to this nice B. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so start first inversion, then throw in that high B if you can. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just play the B octave in your left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you move to an A flat suspended fourth. So A flat in your left hand, just play the octave, and then same rhythm in your right hand. A flat, D flat, E flat, A flat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So moving back to the B. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we return to the friendly, ever so friendly